Hello, my name is Jamila Lewis, and I will be doing my research presentation on the genetic engineering in Orts and Craik. The definition of genetic engineering is the deliberate modification of the characteristics of an organism by manipulating its genetic material. In Orts and Craik, this was used to recreate other human beings, which were not. The definition of genetic engineering is the deliberate modification of the characteristics of an organism by manipulating its genetic material. In Orts and Craik, Craikers were genetically modified human-like creatures. And through Snowman's memories, much is revealed about the world and how genetic modification altered everything. For instance, cosmetics, plastic surgery, pills, and food were altered to make better products. The Quakers were humans, but they were supposedly improved humans. They were better physically, mentally, internally, and genetically. Quakers were the ultimate human, with every poor quality removed and replaced. So when we come to the genetic future, this is when the story focuses on how modifying everything to improve it is not a good idea because the results are unknown. Life After Man, Genetic Engineering. This is an article by Rosario Arias's, I should say, article that reflects on the experiments of biogenetics. For example, cloning. And I believe we have had great discussions about cloning in this past week's Facebook discussions. And this is speculative fiction according to Arias. And what is speculative fiction? It's a broad literary genre encompassing any fiction with supernatural, fantastical, or futuristic elements. In this article, the premise is, since she's making use of real scientific and technological breakthroughs to provide the novel with a credible texture 21st century readers would be familiar with and relate to. And what's to be learned about this is that genetic modification is outlined in Orts and Craik on a grand scale. And the effects of this are shown in the world's quest for perfection. And as I stated earlier about the cosmetics and the food and animals, babies, and eventually the human race, they're all altered in order to isolate the good qualities and remove the bad. The major issues of genetic engineering are detriment and downfall of humanity, which we clearly see early on in the novel. The types of genetic modification are medical. Medical uses genetics to perfect drugs, drug doses, and delivery of drugs. Genetic engineering generally affects two areas of the medical industry: research and how drugs are administered. So you have research and development, and you have administering the drug. Research and development, the time required for medicine to be made is decreased. The typical immunization requires being inserted a small controlled amount of the virus with GE, and this is no longer required in a gene therapy testing. Then the administration of the drug, instead of having to take a needle, people can eat a banana, and the time the medicine can be stored greatly increases, and the care to which the transportation has to take is less. No one will be weary of it, and it's easier to administer. The testing on animals to perfect medicines for humans, this is primarily genetic modification that's used to create animal versions of human diseases to test results. As well, animals are genetically altered to offer medical benefits to humans through xenotransplantation. And in the novel, pagoons are modified pigs that have multiple of each organ and are used for transplants. Agriculture. Agricultural genetic modification, crops typically, but sometimes other plants. And the DNA changed in order to improve the farming or consumption process. Plants are mixed with other species, genetic properties, common claimed applications, stress relief, longer self-life, increased nutrition. And 4 reasons for agricultural genetic modification is environmental threats, quality increase, farming, and increased yield, which is accelerating growth. Human advancement is the last type of genetic modification, and that's just simply the changes in us. This is just a few of the genetic engineering ideas from Orts and Craik. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and please note the reference. Thank you.